Our third speaker, Caroline Brosnan, is going to give yet another perspective of, there were so many perspectives from people that day, and this one hits close to home because it involves Christina Ryook, who grew up here in Westlake, and as her cousin, we appreciate you sharing your details. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you everyone for coming. Christina, I grew up with her as Sanga, which is her Korean name. She was the youngest of 8 of us, pretty tight cousins. And I have a journal entry that I had written that I'd kind of forgotten about. And when Michelle asked me if I might speak after this movie, I went looking for it and actually found it. So I thought I would kind of read what I shared, because at that time I was a new mom, a 5-month-old baby, my oldest son, and this is really to him. So I'm going to share that first. Dear Colin, 1 week ago, as of tomorrow, was the most devastating day of my lifetime. A horrendous terrorist attack occurred on the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. That morning, terrorists had hijacked 4 planes. First, one hit the North Tower of the World Trade Center. Then, another plane hit the South Tower. Not long after, we heard the Pentagon was target of a 3rd plane. And finally, another hijacked plane crashed in Pennsylvania. That morning at 9 a.m., Bridget, Bob's sister, that's my husband, called. She was worried Bob was traveling, and I was in shock over the scene on TV. Could it have been an accident? Then the 2nd tower was hit as I was watching, and I was stunned. I was still talking to Bridget when the news gave word of suspected hijacked planes. I woke Bob to tell him, and we had no idea what was going on. Then we saw the South Tower collapse. Oh my God. I was in disbelief. The phone rang next, and it was my mom. She was crying. Sanga works in the World Trade Center, she said. All I could scream over and over again was, oh my God. I cried and watched as the North Tower collapsed to nothing. Did Sanga get out? I rationalized to myself, yes, she got out, she's fine. I called Anita, my cousin, and Kevin at their office, and I told them that Sanga worked at the World Trade Center. Even Anita, I could tell, was in disbelief. I waited and waited for updated news from Mom, but no phone call came. I talked to my friend Alina, and I remembered she worked near there, and she was home and safe. And I told her about Sanga. She reassured me that she had a friend she knew of someone who had survived from the 86th floor. I didn't know at the time that Sanga worked on the 104th floor, right where the plane had hit. By later that day, I realized that there was no news because Sanga was probably injured or not a survivor. I couldn't believe it. Mom went to Uncle and Wessumo's house. I was to meet her there when Colin woke up from his nap. He woke up late, and when Bob and I got outside of their condo, we didn't see anyone's car, so we didn't go in. I really regret that. I think that guilt followed me because upon hearing that Uncle and Wessumo were going to New York and that Mom would meet them there, I had to go too. I just had to help them find Sanga. Uncle and Wessumo went right away with Uncle and Imo Shin. We went by Thursday night and arrived by Friday early morning, 3 a.m. Thursday. Throughout all of this, the media bombarded the country with news coverage of the attacks and repeated images of the planes hitting the towers. Horrific. I knew deep down Sanga probably died right away. Being in New York was so sad. Lower Manhattan was totally closed off, but we stayed pretty close by. Uncle and Wessumo were devastated, and so much running around in New York, checking lists and not finding Sanga. She worked for Cantor Fitzgerald, and they were located on the floor right where the planes were hit. Everyone who had reported in for work that day was considered missing, but everyone knew what this really meant. We went to the Pier Hotel, where the company set up a headquarters for families seeking information. Unbelievable. Face after face, missing person flyers tacked on the walls, all over the place. Sung-An's pictures were hanging there. So much more happened in New York. I saw many sad things, but I have to say the nicest part was the wonderful memorial that Sung-An's friends organized for her. I was amazed. Probably close to 50 friends came into New York City that night. And not just friends, but people with close connections to Sung-Han, who I never knew. Sung-Han had just emailed me. I had sent her a photo of Colin via internet, and the last time I saw her was in April for Colin's baptism. I feel guilty, like maybe I wasn't a good enough cousin to her. Maybe I should have kept in touch more. But then I shake myself and realize that she was so loved by so many. And she knew I loved her too, and I still can't believe she's gone. What will her parents do now? I cannot put into words what the feelings were at that dinner, and I'll never forget the faces, the tears, and the incredible heartbreak of my aunt and uncle, losing their only child. Neither did I know the strength of them both, nor the loyalty and commitment of her best friend, Michelle, who would make it her mission to never allow Christina to be forgotten. Something changed in all of us after losing Christina on 9/11, and something major clicked for Michelle. Specifically, for the last 22 years, she has tirelessly led the charge to honor Christina, her best friend, so that Christina's parents never feel alone, so that everyone who loved Christina has time and space to gather and remember her, and so that Christina's unbelievable humanness, kindness, and love for everyone around her leaves a lasting legacy on society. Christina may no longer be with us on earth, but I know her spirit is with her parents and all of us. She visits in our dreams, and she reveals her energy to different ones of us in unique ways. Most of all, she reminds us to live despite tragedy, to love through the challenges, to cherish our lives, and to share the essence of her goodness, even for those who never had the good fortune to know her when she was here. I love you, John, Michelle, and all the family, and thank you, Andrew, for letting me speak.